everyone, welcome to the SweetPea Chickadee YouTube channel. I'm Kimberly. This is our crafty podcast. My daughter Brooke, she's my 16-year-old daughter, is not here today, as you can see. I'm actually doing this while she's at school. Quite frankly, she took one look at my WIPs and was like, no thanks. So this is my WIPs roundup episode. Believe it or not, I have recorded this twice already. This is my third time. The first time I tried to kind of roll it in with our podcast type thing and added too many segments in, and it was just way too long because I have a lot of WIPs. The second time was perfect, but I had forgotten to unplug or turn off my space heater I had in the room, and like the background noise was just like so loud, and it was just distracting when I was trying to edit. I'm like, never mind, I'm just gonna re-record. And today, lighting is terrible, so we're just gonna go with it. You might even hear my husband in the background because he is home on never-ending work calls right now. I can hear it. I don't think you can hear it on the video, but I gotta get this done. It's February. I mean, I tried this twice in January. You guys need to see my WIPs roundup before the end of the year. So let's just go from there. It's actually really funny when I've been recording the first couple times, I've like changed up the WIPs because I've finished some things and then I've started new things. So you're gonna see, as of today, my WIPs roundup starting back from all of my WIPs, and I have one from 2018, if you can believe that. I mean, I didn't realize it was 2018 until I looked it up. I mean, it's insane. So let's go ahead and get started. You're gonna see me looking down all around. I've got notes and my spreadsheet open on my laptop where I'm now tracking my yarn. I'm making my way through my stash, input it in my spreadsheet, also my WIPs and my needles, because quite frankly, I swear I buy needles and then I'm like, where are my needles? They're not on any WIPs. And I know I have this needle size. I swear I bought this size before. So I'm gonna start tracking it and then like in what WIPs I put them in, so I know where to go find them at least. So anyways, that's neither here nor there. So you're gonna see me looking all around, but you can probably see I'm sitting on the floor amongst all of my WIPs. It's just easier that way, so I can go ahead and reach for things. I pretty much know which bag they're all in, but you'll probably see me digging around a little bit. So let's start with that 2018 WIP. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm wearing my Felix cardigan today. I made it super oversized, if you can't tell. If I were to make a new one, I knew it'd be oversized. I didn't want it to be this oversized, kind of falls off my shoulders, which is like totally fine and cozy. But I think the next one I would definitely make down a size. I think there's only like 3 sizes or 4 sizes. I didn't even make the biggest size. I don't remember. Anyways, I make a size down, just have one a little bit more fitted, but I love it, so cozy. All right, so my 2018 WIP are socks. Now, when I found this, I found it in a tub that I had been keeping all my pom-poms in, and I was like, oh yeah, this WIP, like this was a WIP in 2018 before I even had my first project bag. Like this is like when I first started to really get into socks, or I started, trying to dabble in socks. Before I really became I knit for so many years, like blankets and scarves and hats and mitts and stuff like that, but like I really started getting into knitting, I would say, obviously, 2018, clearly. So here is the pattern. The pattern is Damson Espalier, and here it is. Isn't it? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Like, I loved it from the moment I saw it. The yarn, I believe, is plum pudding, something is the colorway, but it's by one string, right? The one string is the yarn. And I got this back in a Knit Crate box, back when Knit Crate was doing like highlighting indie dyers, like they were collabing with indie dyers, and that's how they were getting you your yarn. Now Knit Crate, they do their own yarn, but this was back in the beginning when they were using indie dyers, basically. So this is the one string yarn. I do not know if they still do yarn, but I just think this colorway was meant to be this pattern. Like, it was perfectly done. Now, this was back, I was having a hard time with these for some reason. And I mean, you can gauge the timeline on this, you guys. I was using DPNs. Like, I haven't used DPNs since probably 2018 for socks. I use 9-inch circulars now, or even Magic Loop before I would do DPNs. But I was having a hard time with this for some reason. I know I messed up somewhere. I can't really see it now. I messed up somewhere, and I was like, I'm just gonna frog it. That's what my mentality was. I was just gonna frog this, but every time I look at the pattern, it's just so pretty. So I'm definitely gonna have to pull back. I'm gonna do these. This yarn was meant to be this pattern. So, oh, sorry, Damson Espalier by, I believe, Liz Harris. Yes, by Liz Harris. I'm gonna pull back to the cuff. I may even just reknit the cuff. I don't even know. I believe it's 2x2. And then just knit both socks, obviously. I mean, I really like these socks. I love them. I love this pattern, the diamond, and I love this yarn with it. It's perfect. I'm just gonna do it. So it's one of my oldest WIPs I'm actually gonna do, because a lot of these you're gonna see I'm frogging a lot of them. And it's actually really funny too. While I was recording the first one, I was kind of hemming and hawing, like, maybe I'll frog this one, maybe I won't, whatever. And then by the second one, I like made up my mind of what I was gonna frog, what I was actually gonna redo. So it's actually been kind of like nice for me and therapeutic to go through my WIPs over and over again, I guess. But yeah, isn't this so pretty? I love this. These ones are gonna be made. Which is actually really great that I never frog these, because like I just get to re-see it every time and be like, you know what, I do love these. I wanna make these socks. It wasn't even in a project bag. I just put it in one like last episode. This is Scrappy Angel Peekaboo pouch. Okay. And this is back, you can tell by the way I wound this. This is back when I was using like a really old winder. Now I've got like a super high grade one that like makes them narrower. I don't know. Okay, that was my 2018 WIPs. All right. Okay, now we're moving into 2019. You're gonna see me fiddling with this a lot. Sorry. Okay. Brioche Basics Scarf by Suzanne Summer. I just have this in like a beach, like we got this at the beach, like I don't know, like one of those little market things in like Washington State. Anyways. So this is when I was wanting to dabble. It was 2019. And I wanted to kind of try out some brioche for the first time. So I found a really easy pattern, I thought, which it is, to learn brioche, which I would totally recommend. And I just grabbed whatever I had on hand at the time, and it was just Karen Simply Soft. I just grabbed 2 different colors to try this out. So it's really cute. Obviously I was learning quite clearly, and then you get in the hang of it because it's just basic. And basically it's a scarf. So you have this on one end, go to the other end, and have this on the other end. Super soft because, you know, it's acrylic. Karen Simply Soft is really soft. I really like it. At first I was like, I can't even believe I still have needles on here. But I was just gonna frog it and be like, you know, I'm not gonna, but I may finish it. Now that I know brioche quite well, it may fly. And it'd be great to like throw in like my gift bin for, you know, for the holidays or some kind of gift in it, because you can totally wash this in the washer and stuff. And I think it's cute. So I may actually finish this. So we shall see on that. It's not any kind of hurry to finish it because it should be a gift. And I already have the yarn, it's acrylic, and I don't really have any plans for it, so I may just go ahead and make that. Okay, next up is my Tanya. So this one, I have, nope, not that one. Where is my, oh, this one. This is in a twisted yarn fiber bag. There's her logo, like little wine bottles. Okay, so my Tanya, my ode to Tanya. So this was back in 2019. I got the first skein of yarn, I think, from, and this is Blush Fiber Co. yarn. I got like the first skein or two, I think, in the colorway Leaf Foot, in a knit crate box. And I realized I really want to make a Tanya out of it because I love this color. It's a very olivey, mossy green. And so I ordered another one from the dyer herself, and she still dyes, I believe. I saw some still in her shop. And it was going to be a Tanya. That was my whole plan. And I think I had to rip it out and start it over 3 times. And at the very end, I don't know if it was this one. I don't think so. No, I think I did. The very last time I realized, it was always because it's bottom up, so I gotten all the way through the lace section before I realized something was wrong. Like, I think it was just too big or whatever, because my gauge wasn't matching. And then if I made gauge, I didn't like the fabric because it's like a thin fingering. But I was so determined to make this yarn into a Tanya. And so I was trying to do some knitting math when I wasn't all that familiar with knitting math yet. And so it was just, anyways, the very third try, I twisted it. Like, I joined, even though I checked a bazillion times before I joined, it twisted. I feel like when you're an experienced knitter in the round and you twist something, you're just like, maybe it's time for me to just take a pause because how did that even happen? And then I took off the needles and what? This is like, it's bigger than a dress. I don't even, what? I don't know. I can't. So I'm like, this is humongous anyway. So obviously I need to recalculate what I was doing. But it was looking so pretty in the lace. But then I'm like, you know what? This is time out. So it's a big joke around our family how this is the pattern that had to go think about what it did. And so I put it in the project bag and just took it away. Just stuck it away from 2019. I couldn't even look back at it because I was so frustrated. And now I'm realizing that I don't want the Tanya. It's just not my style anymore. So I'm actually really glad I didn't make it because I love this yarn still. So I'm going to frog this, what little is there to frog. And I'm reclaiming this yarn because I've got 3 skeins for something else, probably some other tea, maybe like a Starry Nordland tea. I've got a couple of hers, something. But yeah, because it's beautiful yarn and it's so soft, I really want to use it. And this is just pitiful and it's not my style anymore. So Tanya is going to be frogged for sure. It feels very liberating to say that because that's been like haunting me since 2019. Okay, another 2019. I should like start making a section of where I put them. Okay, is Brooke's blanket. And oh, you know what? I put that in a different bag. Oh, geez. Nope, not that one. This one. I think it was a retreat bag. It was. Okay, another retreat bag by Scrappy Angel. Okay, so Brooke, so our whole intro used to be, or still is probably, but used to be, it's not going to be anymore, that Brooke is not crafty and she's just basically my comedic entertainment sidekick and she holds things up for me and it's a lot of fun to podcast with her. But you guys, she has faux to show you guys on our next podcast. It's insane. This girl is like a crocheting machine. So back in the day when she was, pondering crocheting, she had started this blanket. This was Nitty in color. I think this was like one of her unicorn something, and this one unicorn something, and like turtle something else. Great worsted weight, super soft. And she really liked the colors. She wanted to make a blanket. So we had started it, and then she's like, I'm never going to finish this because she loves blankets. And I was like, okay, I'll eventually finish this for you. See how far that got? Not very far. We also grabbed a Shirsty Cat. It's in DK. She didn't have any worsted on, but it's a very plump DK, so we thought it'd work. It's a blanket, right? And this is in the colorway Pixie. We love Shirsty Cat. So soft. And Bricka picked this out because we were at I don't know which, it's like 2019, pre-pandemic. I don't know which pirate festival she was with me on, but love it. So it's only 3 skeins. So we'd obviously have to get more or it'd be a small blanket, but this is like what we had started. And honestly, I have other ideas if she wants me to do it. I would just rip this whole thing out and do a different design. That'd be more fun. Like Kalisha Ryan, the shawl I just did for her for my Advent, my Rising Tide Fiber Co Advent. I forget what it is. The Just Feel Cozy wrap or something like that. That pattern was so relaxing and so fun and so easy that I would totally like make that into a blanket. Just make it bigger. That would be fun. So we'll see about that. And then my last one from 2019 is the French Press Cardi. Is that in here? Yes. Okay. So the French Press Cardi by TL Yarn Crafts, which is Tony Lipsy. It's crochet. So I'm a knitter with a capital K, but a crocheter with a lowercase c. So I can crochet and do crochet. It's when it gets to garments like sweaters and cardigans that I'm like I can do tank top, but this cardigan construction, like I have to really pay attention to what's going on. So I was never at the time, and it was a crochet along at the time in 2019. And I was not following along with that on time, so I was off, whatever. So I tried to go back to it later, and I really have to focus, so I just never went back to it. But I have this delicious yarn by Montana Crochet. It's in her Aran Weight Tweed, and it's the colorway Matcha. And it was one of the kits, so there's like 3 colors you could have got for this. You didn't have to use this yarn, but if you wanted for the crochet along, I was all set to do it. It was so fun. She got great videos, and I think I only got this part, and it's a really beautiful stitch and colorway, and I want to say this is the sleeve, like it's a sideways construct. I don't remember, but that can't be the sleeve because that is a really wide sleeve, and if that's the case, I need to go down a size because that's just, it's supposed to be a little bit wide, but not, I don't know, well, maybe, I don't know, because it is a 3/4 length, so maybe. But I really want this to be a cardigan, so I'm definitely going to do this someday. It's a someday thing. Whenever I have time to just sit there and just like focus on it, which, could happen anytime. And this is in a great tote by Tim Eads. Yes, by Tim Eads. I don't even think he does bags anymore. But I got this at my DC yarn store, Looped. I was just at Looped and they don't have these bags anymore, so I don't think he's doing it. I think he's doing like needle punching or something, like with like rugs or tapestries. Anyways, it's a great canvasy tote. I love it. I also have another bag. So this is one of my first project bags. I got this one and a different one as my first project bag and ever. It was a Tim Eads. I love it. Okay, so that's all for 2019. All right, 2020. We have Blanket of Calm. So this is when pandemic hit. I think all of these I still have on the needles are from the pandemic time frame. So like I finished all the stuff before the pandemic, those 3 months. And okay, Blanket of Calm is right here. So this is by Casapinka. She put out this little free pattern. And it's just basically these little tiny crochet squares. And you make a bunch of them and it makes a blanket. But you see how tiny these are? You'd have to make a bazillion to make a really full-size blanket. Which people did. They totally could. And to join them all together. So I'm using this as my scrappy blanket, like leftover bits, but it's my prettiest yarn, what I deem the prettiest. Like nothing too bright or too dark, but even then I still have some darker stuff in here that I really think is pretty. Just whatever I want, whatever I think is pretty is really all it is. And then it's probably going to be more like a lap blanket or like a decorative one I can throw over the back of my chair or something. Like I don't envision this being a huge blanket because these squares are just teeny tiny. These are pre-blocking, but come on, they're not going to get much bigger. So, and that's being held in this cottontail farm bag. It's like one of her sweater totes, I think, or something. Okay. Then I have the Breathe and Hope shawl, also by Casapinka. And this is being held in my, oh my goodness, Fringe Supply Co. Fringe Supply Co. bag. They're out of business. I'm so glad that I was able to snag one of these camo wax canvas totes before they went out of business because I loved it and I always wanted one. I'm so glad I got one. So I chose, because it was pandemic time and I just wanted something bright and cheerful at the time, which it actually was very nice to knit with. So here's it literally glows in real life too. It's not yours, just your screen. Let's break down the yarn first. So here's the glowing yarn. It's probably glowing a little bit more on screen, but that's pretty accurate. This is the Perennial yarn. I think it's Kelborn Woolens Perennial. And in the colorway Neon Lime. It's very accurate, very soft. This is made out of 60% superwash merino, 25% Seri alpaca, and 15% nylon. So you can see a little bit of fuzz. It's super soft. And then I love this color. It is by Wonderland Yarns in the Marianne base, which is her sock base, 8515. In the colorway Opal, which is Brooke's birthstone. Isn't that cool? So these two together I thought would be great. Well, in this pattern and together, like the Neon Lime is totally, which side's the right side? Is totally domineering. Like you can barely, I know when it blocks, you'll be able to stretch it out and see, but it's totally like a neon scarf, which, green is my color. I just don't know about Neon Lime. And also like, I realized I don't like this shape. I don't mind the shape, the like crescent-y shape. I don't like how thin it is, I guess. I mean, I like a big, thick, big shawl, basically. And I'm literally like most of the way through this too. Like I don't have much left, but I don't see myself wearing this. So I'm totally gonna frog it and reclaim the yarn. Not that I need the yarn, but I mean, so it's definitely fun to do. I like all the different sections. The yarn together in this pattern and the shape itself, for me, my style of shawls. Some people love it. Some people hate big, large shawls. I love them. I'm also like 5'11", so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But yeah, so I'm gonna frog this for sure and reclaim this yarn. Okay, so next up for 2020 are my Ghost socks. I feel like a lot of my 2021s are going to be frogged, which is kind of funny. This is my Madder Root bag. I think this was the Maryland Sheep and Wool exclusive at the time. Like you could get it first there. Has a wax bottom. I think it was the first time she offered it. So it was very exciting at the time. 2019 Maryland Sheep and Wool, not 2020. That's what I said. I really like the Madder Root bags because it buckles. So I have a smaller sock size version. So when I was commuting into the city for work, I would just, after I got off the train, I would just clip it to my backpack and then I could walk and not have to hold it. It was great. You can clip it to other bags. Okay, so I had started these Ghost socks because I don't know if you guys remember the pandemic, 2020. You couldn't really buy a lot of yarns. You were working from stash. So luckily a lot of us that had stash were like, you know, living the good life right there. So you kind of were grabbing with what you had. So I wanted to use what I had, obviously. And I had this great yarn. These are both knit crate yarns, but I was making these Ghost socks. And that's how far I've got on one. They were going to be shorties. I had marked an afterthought, which I wasn't sure about doing an afterthought on color work. I hadn't tried it yet. I was have to be very careful, but that's what I decided I wanted to do. And now I call them my Ghost socks, but the pattern is like a free pattern and it's just the chart and like a recipe for socks. But the chart itself is called Happy Haunts Socks by Valerie Wibbins. I really like it. And so obviously this was this was a toe up chart. So I had flipped it around to do cuff down, and you can tell where I messed up on the chart repeat. Like I wasn't reading it because it was going the opposite direction. So I'd mess up here. So obviously I would need to pull back to there. And I think I'm just going to frog these. I do like the chart and I will probably make them sometime later. Even like little mitts would be cute maybe. But I'm just not feeling it anymore. And I kind of want to use this yarn for, I think it's called the Poison Apple Hat. I'll include a picture here. I forget who it's by, but the Poison Apple Hat. I think she did hers in red and green. But here are my two colors. This gray is dark charcoal gray, is sparkly. I don't know if you can, there you can kind of see how sparkly it is. It's super sparkly. They're both by Knit Crate. They're both Uru yarn. This one is Uru yarn in Sugared Sock. And it's the Stony Outcrop colorway. And it's 70-20 with 10% Selena. And then this one is also Uru yarn, just regular. And it's just 70-20, but 20% baby alpaca, 10% nylon. And it's called Light Bulb Moment. This is not as neon-y as the Neon Lime from the previous one, but it's looking like it's glowing. It's not as bright, a little more tonal. I don't know if you can tell without my face maybe. My light is not very good today, guys. The sound is probably better. Light, not as good. I don't know. I'm trying to just get you guys a video before 2023, okay? All right. So these are going to be frogged and reclaiming, so I think I'm going to move this to a different pattern, which is the Poison Apple Hat, maybe. But I do like this chart. So if you guys like the chart, go check it out. It's free. All right. Next up are my Possum Socks. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about these. Okay. What bag are they in? I think this bag. Because I've been working on these. Okay, so my Possum Socks, I just have them in like this free, it was like with purchase Barnes & Noble bag. So it's more than just like a pencil bag, right? Okay. So in 2020, pre-pandemic, My husband went to Australia to do some work, and he brought home some Australian yarn for me. And he brought, and actually like he FaceTimed me, and the store owner like took me around her store. It was amazing. I picked out some of this sock yarn. This was the Naturally White Kiwi prints, and this is shade 471. And here is the colorway. These are 50-gram balls, and I got 2 of them. So I wasn't sure if it was gonna stripe or design or what I was gonna do, so I decided to do the pattern Library Socks. So I had the first whole one done. It's so soft. Oh, I forgot to tell you what was in it. The best part is why I call them my Possum Socks. So it's 55% New Zealand merino, 20% nylon, 15% alpaca, and 10% possum. How cool is that? As soon as Damon read that, I was like, possum? Yes, please give me yarn. I've never seen possum yarn here in the US, so that was really cool. Yeah, so I did the Library Socks pattern. You can really not hardly tell, but it's a nice texture. I only did it down the front of the foot because I'm doing shorty socks. Fish lips, kiss heel, rounded wedge toe. But yeah, so I had the whole first sock done. And then like, that was it. Like I never went back. I do not know why, because we all know shorty socks do not take that long. So then as soon as I did like the first recording of this, I was like, why am I not doing this? And so I really want these socks. And so I immediately cast it on, and I'm almost done. So here is the next sock. I am so close, as you can see, to starting the toe. Like super close to starting the toe. I'm so excited. So these are almost gonna be done. This was a 2020 WIP. So I'm really excited about that because I really want these cozy socks. And that's one of my current WIPs I'm like currently working on through rotation. The next one is my Sunset Highway, which I am not working through rotation right now, and I should be because I really want it. But it's like a fingering weight sweater, you know? Hi, Olive. And, you know, it's freaking fracking cold here, so I'm all about the thicker knits right now. But look how pretty it is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is 2020, and I was like, I literally am using stash yarn that I had. Like I paired this all up together, and like the fact that it came out so amazing, I'm just like, colorway wise, love it. So I got one whole sleeve done, and then I had gotten most of another sleeve like through the color work, and I realized my color work was like puckering, like it was tight. And I've never had to go up a needle size in my yoke before, but I've never done it on my sleeves. And I think because I'm using just smaller circumference needles, it's harder for me to keep it not as tight. So I think that was my problem. And so I pulled this whole thing out, and I'm gonna redo it. And then after I'm done with this, I may even redo this one. Like this one isn't as bad, but I could tell if I really look in it, like the bottom especially. And so I'm like, I don't want it to frustrate me when I'm wearing it, because I want to love it. This is taking me so long. I might as well love it. I did a couple mods on this, just color work wise. I believe this color is supposed to be what goes in here, but this color and this color are really similar. And so I wanted to separate them. And I love this green, so I went ahead and just threw the green in there. And the cuff is supposed to be in the main color, but I only had 2 skeins of the main color just in my stash. And I want to be able to have as much for the body as I can. So I just swapped in and did a cuff in the green that I also love. And I'll do it on this side. And I stopped on the body when I finished my first skein, and then went to go do the sleeves the way I wanted with the second skein. And then whatever's left over, I will knit all the way down. And then I'll use one of the contrast colors for the rest. I'm hoping I can get down to the ribbing and then just do the ribbing in a contrast color. Or if I can just do the whole thing and this main color would be great, but just in case. But yeah, I love it. And it's the Sunset Highway by Caitlin Hunter, if I didn't say that already. I'm gonna go through my yarns really quick. You can also see all of these things if you miss it on my project pages in Ravelry. It's just so pretty. So this main color I know is Rising Tide Fiber Co. in Once Upon a Starfish. Now these are all different bases. Like some of these are plumper than others. My main is a little bit thinner, like light fingering, and I didn't even care. I was pulling from stash, and I just love how it's just turning out anyways. This purple is Anzula in the Frisia colorway. Super soft and plump. And then this light color, you can see, here's the difference. So here's the main color in Once Upon a Starfish, and then here's the other color. See the difference? They look really similar though. This, I believe, is Berry Bramble colorway, and I believe it is Less Traveled is the yarn dower, yes. Yep. Less Traveled, Berry Bramble, and it's on her Dreamliner base. So it's a 70 BFL, 20 silk, 10 cashmere, so it's very nice. And the green is a Hedgehog Fibers. So I'm using all of my, like, I love these brands, these dyers. If I can find it, there it is. And I think it's in Serengeti. This is the color green. I love it. Look how much I still have left. So I've got plenty. And it's Hedgehog Fibers in Serengeti in the sock yarn base. So I just love, and I just need to finish it. Basically, I got all the way through a sleeve and I had to pull back and I was just so disheartened. But I'm like, I just need to do it. And it's fingering weight, so it's like, you know, it takes a while. And especially this long cuff. So if I have to pull this out, I'm probably gonna cry. That was a lot of ribbing. But I wanna love it. So if the sleeve looks amazing and this one doesn't, I'm gonna redo it for sure. The top part's not too bad. Maybe I'll just pull up to this section. And I think this bottom part is the like puckering part. Anyways, it's gonna be great, but it's like a thinner sweater, so it's not like it's super cold right now. So I'm kind of going more for the warmer stuff that I can wear now this year. And I just have this in a tote bag my husband got me from Knit Picks. I don't know what holiday, Mother's Day or something, birthday. Isn't that cute? My husband orders me a lot of stuff through Knit Picks. They actually send him emails. I don't think they send me emails about deals, so he'll forward them to me. It's really funny. Okay, we're still in 2020, y'all. All right, next up, my Bits and Bobs blanket by Kay Jones. And that is in, I don't even, not that one. Here it is. A blanket tote by Scrappy Angel. I love her blanket totes. They're huge. They have this great little see-through pocket in the front. And I use these for all my sweaters, blankets, like anything, because I knit larger sizes, so I want to put all my yarn and blankets. Okay, so this Bits and Bobs blanket is a modified fisherman's rib, so it's so squishy. So here it is so far. It's actually, here it is, full. So I'm using this as a pure scrappiness. Like, it's pure scrappy. It's just whatever goes in here, throw it in. I don't care. It's going to be an amazing, super scrappy, no like colors, sequence whatsoever. Now, normally in the pattern, it calls for, because you're holding two yarns together, two fingering weight, so it makes a DK, but you get like one main base color, like a white or cream or a neutral or black, whatever. And then you swap in your scrap. So that looks like a watercolor fade. It looks really cool. But I wanted to use pure stash. So I'm using like some knit crate yarn that I like, you know, wanted just to use in my blanket. Like, so this full skein, and then whatever scrappy may go with it. So you can tell like my first one was green, was a green full skein, and then went into like this yellowy orange and then like this bluey, I'm just kind of going with it. I do want to make, after this one, I do want to make another one where I get like just the white as the main, or the cream as the main color. And then, because I really like that whole watercolor effect, it looked really cool. This is still watercolory, but like a lot more sharper transitions, obviously. But it's great. It's so squishy. You guys could totally do the Bits and Bobs blanket. It's very rhythmic. I do like it. And that one's like, I would say a third of the way done lengthwise. I like long, big blankets. I would say a third, not quite a half. All right, and then I think 2020, one more, and it's my own little sock design that I started like December of 2020 when I was trying to make myself some, another little mini retreat bag from Scrappy Angel. So you can't really see it because I was just doing it just for myself at first, but now I think I'm gonna go ahead and write up, and I will redo it in a colorway we can actually see the design. But this is Ridiculous yarns. I have like a little Ridiculous yarns sock set. Here's the set. I think this is like Winter Cottage or something like that. And I made this little, you can barely even see it, maybe you can. It's like a design, like a tree design. And I got different options. Like this is the small trees. You can't even see it really. You can see it a little bit. Anyway, so I'm gonna reknit it in like one color so you can definitely see it. And then I have all these options that I'm gonna provide, and I'm gonna have it for test knitting. So if you guys are interested in test knitting, just look out for that. But yeah, so this is my own design. I have the first sock done. I did get all the way through the foot last summer, and I definitely have more time now that I'm gonna like focus on this because I really want to get this out for everybody. It's really fun. It's really, really simple too. That's what I like about it. Okay, and that's it for 2020, guys. That wasn't too bad. 2020 and 2021 are my obviously biggest. I mean, I think I had 25 WIPs, you guys. Like when I put it into my my little spreadsheet, like it was, yeah, it's 25. Isn't that just, that's including all my new ones from 2022. So, but like for me, WIPs do not stress me out unless I have a deadline. Then it stresses me out. But my stash stresses me out, which is when I'm gonna get into like my knitting plans. Okay, but let's not get ahead of ourselves or myself. 2021 WIPs. Okay, so we have, I think it's this one, another retreat bag by Scrappy Angel. And if you guys want to check it down, and if you want to go check out Scrappy Angel, I have a discount code that you guys can use down in my show notes. Okay, so I really wanted a brioche shawl, but not a humongous one, but one that had like where I can practice increasing and decreasing. And so I found this one by Lavanya Patricella. It's called Still Pretty. It's based off Stranger Things, which is like another reason why I wanted to do it. Isn't this just, I think it's like on the monster, it's like based on that shape. But this is supposed to curl. You see how it curls on the bottom? You can probably see it better on this side. It curls like that. It's because when you wear it, it says it in the pattern too. When you wear it, she wants it to curl into your neck to make it nice and cozy, which I'm glad she said that, or else I would have thought I did something wrong. But yes, I love this. I just need to finish it. I'm actually not even that far. I'm not that far off. I think I'm over halfway done. I just need to finish it. I started this on my husband and I little anniversary trip last year. I knew he would be napping a lot. If any of you know Damon, when he works so hard, and he works like literally all day, every day, 7 days a week. And so when he gets vacation time, which is not that often, he takes lots of naps. And so I knew even though it was our anniversary, he would be like napping a lot because we went to like this relaxing bed and breakfast. Anyways, you guys probably didn't need to know that. These are both Kim Dye's yarn, but different bases. I love Kim Dye's yarn because her name is amazing, and also her yarn is amazing. So the first one, which one did I grab? Is the green. I mean, look at that green. Oh my gosh. Look at the tonality, the browns, the greens. So this is on a yak base, if you can't tell by the browns. It's her rye sock base, which is 70-20-10 with superwash merino, yak, and nylon. I just love this. And then her other one, this is her phyllo base, right? Yeah, phyllo sock. Look at that. Oh, isn't that pretty? It's a little messy, but isn't that pretty? And this is on the colorway Spring Lawn. This is an 80-10-10 base with cashmere. Isn't that pretty? I love these. So I had these already. I had bought them as a pair from my local yarn store during one of their like, I think it was meant for like another Casa Pinka shawl. I think it was like the Hug Shot or something. I don't remember if that's what it's called. But then I'm like, I think this called for this brioche. I'm really glad I did it. I just need to finish it. So it's definitely gonna be finished because it's so squishy too. Oh my gosh, so soft. Okay, that's 21. Another 2021, you guys remember this one, the Summer Court Tank. by Dragon Horde Designs. If you guys have watched our podcast, you'll have remembered Brooke's poor tank top. This is in my other Timmy's bag. It's my very first real true project bag. It's very great canvas, and he's even got like, you know, grommets on the inside for like threading your yarn through and all these. I mean, they're amazing. Okay. I don't know why I'm trying to sell it, because he doesn't do them anymore, I don't think. But, okay. So for those of you that don't remember, or to refresh everyone's memory, Brooke had picked out this yarn at our local yarn store, and it's Alexandra, the Art of Yarn is the dyer. She had seen it kind of knit up, and it's really cool because it is mostly gray with like pops, random pops of this green. And Brooke really wanted a tank top. So because I wasn't sure of the design at the time, I told her I'd be more comfortable with 3. Like I didn't know the length, and Brooke's like 6 feet tall. So I didn't know the length or, you know, whatever. I may be more comfortable with 3 of these, but we only had 2 there. So we went ahead and grabbed this other one with the blue, a little bit darker gray with some blue pops. And I figured that could be like the straps if necessary. So the first one is Dark Side of the Moon, Twilight and Key Lime is the colorway. And then this blue one is Twilight and Aegean Sea. They are both 80-20, which 80% superwash merino, 20% silk, which I didn't realize it when I bought it. I'm like, wow, Brooke's having a very posh tank top. But she picked out this pattern by Dragon Horde Designs, which is an amazing pattern. It's like a bottom up lace on the bottom, and it actually has some beadwork in there if you want to add it in, which she didn't want to add it in, and I wasn't prepared to do that anyway, so which actually worked out just fine. But I got all the way through the first skein, like all the way through the lace basically, which is great. If you guys want it, it's a great pattern. Go check it out. And then it was great. It wasn't pooling or anything, so I didn't even think about it. And then I started the second one, and it immediately started pooling, which I'm not anti-pooling, and Brooke's not anti-pooling. The thing was, the first skein didn't pool, but then the second skein did. So if it's gonna pool, it needs to pool throughout, or at least, you know, similar. So I was like, okay, well, that's not gonna work. So I should have done 1 and 1. It didn't pool, so I didn't worry about it. So I pulled back to alternate skeins. I need to do that. And I haven't even started because we were trying to do this for summer vacation. So I was trying to get this tank top done for her to wear, and then it didn't get done in time. So then it's just been sitting here for next summer's summer vacation. But then when I took it off the needles, it was huge, like really big on Brooke. And I was like, you know, it's gonna be too loose. So actually we're gonna go down a whole size for her. So it's actually kind of good that I took it off and looked at it, or else it would have been like super huge. So it actually worked out for the better, I guess. So that one is definitely gonna be WIP. I mean, I unwound it, so now I need to start it again. Next one are my first cranked socks. So as you guys probably know, I got a 1908 Gearhart sock machine that my husband found for me at an estate sale online for my birthday last year in July. 1908, guys. It's so old. I've had the most fun trying to like restore it and getting all the pieces back to working order and figuring it out, because like I don't own a sock machine, so I'm trying to learn on a sock machine that like hardly has any instructions or any YouTube videos or any kind of instructions, right? Luckily the new Gearhart, Erlbacher Gearhart machines are reverse engineered from the original Gearhart, but from the 1924 version. I have the 1908 version, which is different. So that alone is fun for me to try and figure out. But I finally got to do it, cranked my first tube. And I went to make my mom some shorty socks. It was just from Scrap Jersey Cat yarn or stash. Like I already used most of the skein. And I'm looking for the bag that I have it in, if you guys are wondering why I'm not looking at you. Oh, here it is. This isn't a, wait, what is this bag? Yep, another cottontail farm bag. And she only made one of these. It's like girl power, women power. And I like snagged it right up. Okay, so I had knit this tube, so proud of myself. Okay, I cranked the tube, split it, counted rows, did toes, did cuffs, went back to mark heels, and then I realized Like I literally counted rows to make them exactly even. Yeah. Do you guys see the difference here? Why is this so much longer than this? Because I'll tell you why. Clearly my gauge is off from the same crank tube. So it's looser gauge here than it is here. So like one side of my crank tube had a different gauge than the other. And as a newbie, I was just like, what? I was they're for my mom and she was really excited about it. And I was just like, okay. So it's really frustrating. I just put them aside and I haven't cranked a tube since. Now, I've talked to other crankers and there's a couple different reasons why this probably happened. One I already knew, and it's because I'm using a vintage cast-on basket and it kept slipping and that's what's holding my weights. And so I thought the weight tension was different at the beginning of the end, probably. Also, I don't think for this first tube, I had my my cone winder yet. Now I've got tons of cones wound up. But I think I was pulling from a regular cake of yarn, and so that could have also, that's what some people said, that could also have adjusted the tension. So I have different things for me to try out to try and fix, but like, and I know what I'm gonna do. My mom doesn't care about tension. I'm just gonna like obviously take the shorter one, take off the cuff, add more length, put the cuff back on, because my mom was even like, it's fine, you don't need to fix it, it's fine, they're different length. I'm like, Mom, okay. Tension off, okay. I'm not giving you two different length socks. So I will fix the length and I will give them to you. And I have extra yarn to do that. But it was just, I just need to fix these and then I'm going to get cranking on good old Agatha because that is her name. And also I may have purchased and submitted an order for a new Roebucker Gerhardt machine. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Because this one, it's very, it's hard to learn on, first of all. Second of all, it's hard to tell my attention. So I think if I could set up like one style of project on my Agatha and just do that, like my husband's socks or whatever. And then for my new machine, I can like go back and forth and change tensions and change cylinders a lot more easy. That would be great, I think. So, crank socks. Need to get that done for my mom. Oh, my Autumn League pullover is next. And this one I was doing the Knit Along with the Strings Attached podcast. I clearly did not make it in time. But it's another blanket tote by Scrappy Angel. So I picked this back up again just the other day. It's actually in my new rotation for WIPs again, because I really want to finish it. I really want to wear it. It's DK weight and cozy. So what happened, where I stopped, I got all the way through the body. Autumn League pullover, sorry, by 2 of 1s. I love the sweatshirty detail in the front. And I'm using the recommended yarn that it called for in the pattern. And it's the Lion Brand Cotton Jeans, 100% cotton collection. In the deep indigo, right? Deep indigo colorway. So here it is. I got all the way through the body. And then I had finished the sleeve all the way down to the cuff. And then I tried it on. I did all the tapering decreases like it said. Because like I did all the tapering decreases on my Felix and I loved it because it's obviously huge. This has got a great sweatshirty feel in the body, but then like my arms, it was too tapered compared to like a sweatshirt that I wanted. I wanted more sweatshirty in the sleeves as well. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna pull all the way back. So I pulled all the way back and I just started working on it. Like I've gotten this much done. Like I just did it the other day. And I'm gonna just knit the whole sleeve with no decreases. And then when I get down to the cuff, almost to the cuff, I'm gonna take 1 or 2 rounds to do rapid decreases and have a more balloony, sweatshirty type sleeve. And I think I would be much more happy about that. Because when I put it on, I was like, I'm loving the body. I was not loving the sleeve, and I wouldn't wear it as much because I didn't like the sleeves. So I just got that one, and then I decided to do another one. The other thing I need to fix is folded over collar is really cool. Do you see the back? Perfectly straight. Look at that. And then I go to the front. And do you see how that's crooked? That's like slanted. How did I do that? Like I fold this over, the back is perfectly straight, the front is slanted. Luckily I just whip stitched this in, so it's easy for me to unwhip stitch it, fold it back down straight. Isn't that like totally, that would bug me. And like, it's not even like, if it was in the back, my hair is there, I would not even notice or cared. I would have left it there. But the back is perfect. It's my front, and that would bug me. So I'm gonna fix that, and that'll be a quick fix. So just gotta fix the collar and then 2 sleeves, and then I'm done with this one, and I wanna wear it. Okay, next up, ooh, is the Vega. Oh, another one. My friend Holly got yarn for this, and she was talking about it with me last night, and it got me re-excited about my Vega. I just am so excited. Okay, another Scrappy Angel blanket taupe. It's the Druids, right? The Droids. Druids. The Droids. Okay. So I'm doing the Vega. It's called the Vega, but it's more like a jacket, and it is by, hold on, Kasia Varela Fredrickson, and I think it's Torn Dolls Froon on Instagram, or she is Torn Dolls Froon on Instagram. But the yarn I'm using is this Plymouth Select Chunky Merino Superwash, super soft and squishy. It's chunky yarn, and it's in just the taupe colorway. So awesome. Sorry about the light, guys. It's just getting darker. It's like it's like noon. It's so rainy outside. And then my friend Amanda had destashed to me as a gift this Space Cadet yarn, and it's in the Alara bulky weight, and the colorway is Century Farm. And these are like the messiest skeins ever. There's 2 of them because I had split it in half. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? Okay, so the Vega is a jacket, which I folded over. Oh, this is so squishy. I love this color. It's got intarsia motif on each of the shoulders, and then the rest of it is just, the yarn. It's a very thick jacket. So so it's very low contrast, and I love it. So there's a lot more jackets I saw that had high contrast, and that's normally what it is, and it looks great, but I love my colors. There's lower contrast, which is fine. I'm basically almost all the way through the motif. Like, I only have like this top section left down here, but like I stopped because you can kind of see it, can't you? Look right here. You can see right here where I was basically, because it's intarsia, I was pulling the first green stitch tighter to close up a hole on this side, and it counteracted and created more of a hole on this side. Now it may like block out, and you really can only tell if I stretch it out. You can tell the most. But I think it's a big enough, I chose a loose enough size where it may not even stretch at all on my sleeve, like my shoulder. It may just be like this, like it's not stretchy. However, I can kind of tell right here, and I don't know if that's gonna block out, and that's gonna bug me, and I really, really want this jacket. And I'm at a point where I can easily go back and redo it. So I think I'm gonna pull this all the way back to the collar, which it didn't take me that long. It's chunky, but it is like a chart, right? Because I want to be happy with it. I was talking to Holly about it last night, and I was like, you know what? I think the reason why I haven't gone back to it, I mean, I was doing other things like advents and stuff, and sweaters for Rhinebeck, but I think the reason I haven't gone back to it is because, and if I haven't decided, it's because I need to just pull back. Like, if I haven't decided right now it's not going to bother me, and then I'm pretty confident it'll block out, I need to just go back and fix it, because it'll bug me. And I love this yarn. I really want this jacket, and I don't want it to be bothered by the intarsia pulling right here. Like, you can see it clearly right there without even stretching. And I am not sure that will block out. I have no idea. So I want to just go ahead and pull it out. So that's gonna be my next project, is to pull back all the way to the collar and redo. And I think I'll just be a lot more happy and a lot more confident in it for sure. And that's super chunky and super warm right now. I would love that jacket for right now, so I need to prioritize that like sooner so that I can wear it during this cold season right now. Okay, the next one, oh, here comes another frogging one, it's in a Scrappy Angel peekaboo pouch. These are the Cozy Cottage Pass Socks by Dana Ray Makes. The pattern is great. These are for my husband. It's got this cool design, like a simple design right here. And I just use like a row on mini. But look, I even made them super long so he can wear them with his shirt stays. And I messed up, like somewhere in here, I realized I like slipped too many times or something. And it's just like, I am not going back. And I realized my husband doesn't care. He loves socks. He just wants me to make a ton of socks. And he's got like size 14 to 15 shoe, you guys. So it just takes forever. And he wanted them super long. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I might as well, now that I'm getting back into my machine, I might as well just crank him some socks. And I have a ribber. I can give him some ribbed socks that he loves, this, like the comfortness of the ribbed sock. I'm like, I might as well just do that. So he picked out this yarn himself. So he definitely wants this yarn. And it's knitted wit sock yarn. It's an 80/20. And I believe you pronounce it, actually I have no idea, Beaujolais. And is it French? I don't know. Beaujolais, if it's French, I definitely don't know French. Either way, I don't know that word. But it's gorgeous. It's a very dark tonal red, very deep red. And the little, I still will use this mini to go with it. I love this. And this was a row 1 mini I got. And it's from 29 Bridges. And the colorway is Tahoe. Do I have the mini in here? Yes, I do. It's like a charcoaly navy. Looks great. So yeah, these will be off my needles. And onto my sock machine. So more to come on that. You'll see those later as a cranked tube. Okay, and then my Arabian Tails blanket. So this is my last 2021 WIP, and this is with my Advents. So it's another Scrappy Angel bag. It's Harry Potter Christmas. Okay, so for this one, as you guys have probably seen if you saw my Vlogmas, I had gotten a Chelsea Luxe Yarn Advent in 2019 on a sparkle base, and I had never used it. It was my very first one. And then so I went ahead and ordered a 2021 Advent in the sparkle base as well. And I wanted to combine the two into something magnificent. So I chose the Arabian Tails, which, the Arabian Tails by Svetlana Gordon. And it's actually a shawl pattern that I've converted into blanket. I'm not the first one. Plenty of people have done it. I have no idea where it's my first. Oh, here we go. Because I just started row 3. Okay, so here we are. So I just started row 3. And it goes all the way down. Now the shawl pattern is 4 across. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I just like tripled it and to make it a nice good size blanket. So I've got 2 Advents and then 2 full skeins with those Advents. So it's gonna be a nice size. I don't even, you see it all. There it goes. So I each do by rows, and you do each one individually. I've been doing, and I know you can see a lot of ends, but these are all, except for the top row, the bottom row is all woven in because I'm doing the weave and seam in method, and it's working fabulously. You can see the ends though, because I haven't trimmed them, and I'll trim them after blocking. But yeah, isn't this great? So I'm having a lot of fun because I'm picking out the whole next row of colors. I'm mixing and matching ears, but I'm basically just picking a color that looks good with the one below it, and it'll look good with the one next to it. That's basically all it is. And I went ahead and picked out the whole second row. Brooke got a Kate Spade bag. Picked out the whole second row, and I've got them all in here all wound up, ready to go, so that I can just pull and go for my next row. So you add them on one at a time. Another thing about this is that I got some really fancy needles for this. So I was doing it on like a regular DPNs because you only need 2. And it was just they were a little short, so I was always worried that they were going to slip off in the middle of it. So I really wanted some 8-inch ones, which I could have got away with 7-inch, but I wanted the 8-inch. So I got the Signature Needle Arts DPNs. I did not engrave anything on them because you can engrave these, you guys. What I did was though, is that, I mean, like these are definitely more expensive because I think a set of 5 was like $60. And you can also get a set of 4, but you can also buy them individually. Now they are like $13 or $13.50 each, which is still kind of expensive, but I really wanted them for the length, and also the sharpness is nice, but yeah. And I'm like, well, I only need 2. And if I need more later, I can go buy more. So I just got 2. So it actually was pretty affordable for just the 2. And I knew this was gonna be a long-term project, so it's gonna get a lot of use out of them. And yeah, so I got them. So and so I just used them for my 3rd row, to start my 3rd row, and I played with them, and they're amazing. I probably didn't have to get a size, like an 8-inch, 7-inch would have been fine, which they do have those, but I wasn't sure, and so I got the 8s. And they're nice. So yes, it's fun. It's like, I don't know if you can see the sparkle. Oh yeah, you can see the sparkle. Look at that. They're all super sparkly. Oh, I don't know if you can see all. The dark ones are easier. But it is super sparkly in person, and I cannot wait to have this blanket. And it's actually gonna be a lot of fun picking out colors and stuff. Now, each of these only takes like, I think like 3 grams, I think, of yarn, because I counted for 20 grams, I could get like 6 of these fox faces out of them. So yeah. My plan with this is that I'm trying to use every color once before I start repainting colors. That's all. There's really no other, like, I'm just looking at what looks pretty next to each other. And then I have these stitch markers or progress keepers I'm going to put in by Whitney. Oh, let's make these out. By Whitney Marie Anderson. They're really giant, very light progress keepers for the holidays. I'm going to mark now. Now I'm going to mark this where I showed you guys right here. Put one of those on there. Really pretty. And yeah, so that's it. Yeah, because here, I'll even show you. Here's what I was using before, because I still had them in here. I was just using these. And then I got these. I think these are standard 6 inches probably. I don't even know. So this is a lot nicer for making sure. Because at one point, I think I have like 40 stitches on at one time on one needle. And I was just worried if I put it down like that it would slip off. And then like each of these fox faces takes me between like 35 and 45 minutes. I mean, it's entirely short rows. So you're just going back and forth and back and forth. So it's easy and rhythmic, but it's like you still have to count and it just takes a while. But they're so cool. I love it. Love this pattern. All right, so that is it for my 2021 WIPs. Let's go ahead and get into my 2022 WIPs. So for 2022 WIPs, I've cast on quite a few things. So let's just dive right. I think the first things I cast on probably were some socks. This is in an inside-outside bag by Scrappy Angel. It's got the clear see-through zipper pocket on both sides. And I got 2 pair of socks in here going. 2 sock WIPs. So both of these are from Zebra Yarn. Both the yarns are from Zebra Yarns. It's for the Knitting the Blues Away knit along that they're hosting by Between Knits and Pearls is hosting with Zebra Yarns as yarns, obviously. I think it goes through February 10th. Today, I don't even think I told you. Today is February 4th, Friday. So I have these 2. Anna is a dear. I couldn't decide on which colorway I wanted more, so she just sent me as a gift both. Anna is the sweetest, you guys. Go check out Zebra Yarns. So I have both these colorways, so I'm doing them both at the same time. I actually did a little poll in my stories on Instagram, if you guys saw it, to see what color I should do first. And the blue actually won, but then Anna was like, just do them both at the same time. I'm like, you're amazing. That's a good idea. So I'm doing them both. Slightly different. This is the blue one with the contrasting mini. I'm doing the String of Lights pattern by the Sock Witchery. And I love this pattern. It's a great pattern. You guys should totally get it. It's super rhythmic and easy and adds great texture. I'm just doing a regular fish lips kiss heel, rounded wedge toe. And then for this one, I said vanilla shorties. So these are both shorties, clearly. And then I did a fish lips kiss heel too, but garter, just to give it some texture since it was all gonna be stockinette. And I love this. Love the yarn, love the patterns, or this pattern, love everything about it. And I just started this one, and I have not cast on the second one for that one yet. So I cast on this one. I'm at the point where I need to start my heel. So I need to stop and probably cast on this one. I normally cast them on right away. It's like my new rules. I cast the second ones on right away, but I accidentally casted on a hat instead, which I'm gonna show you. Basically my motto for this year is to knit what I want, when I want. Unless there's something I want on a deadline and I want to do the deadline, I'm just doing what I want when I want to. And so I wanted to cast on a hat at the time, but I do want these socks. So I'm going to go ahead. And this one came out a little bit longer for me because I did not measure. It still fits. It's just a little bit like looser around the toe. So I shortened this one. That's why they might look a little bit different size-wise. But yeah, so I got both of those in here and their minis and the full skeins and the works in progress. It all fits in here quite nice. So those are what I'm working on for the Knitting the Blues Away cowl. Now let me talk about the hat I cast on in between. is in another Scrappy Angel peekaboo tote. No, peekaboo bag. Peekaboo pouch. One of those. I cast on. I got this kit it's from Plied, is the yarn brand. I got this at Indian Tangle. It's like this little kit specifically to make this hat because it's for the hat and they had a sample there. Not in this color, but they had a samples there. And these are all like little bobbins. They call them bobbins, but they're minis essentially. And it was 2 of each color. These are 2 colors I have left. Here was the whole first color. So it's a trail point hat by, oh my gosh, I know Spout Knits, but I think, let me see here. Oh, I did not write it down. Okay, hold on. It is the Trail Point Hat by Ruth Bolkins. And okay, so I'm using the Plied kit. So it's a double brim hat. And I had started it and knit all the way through this colorway, these 2 bobbins. And I realized, because you have to knit 5 inches and then fold over for the double brim. But like, I only had 3.5 inches. And I didn't want to lose, I wanted the whole, because in the pictures, the whole first color was the whole brim. So I was like, no, I don't want just like a little bit showing. So what I did was, because it's a trail point hat, so it does go to kind of like a flat point up here. My last color, which is that color, since I'm gonna have decrease, I won't need as much yarn to make it as wide. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll be decreased, less stitches. So what I did was I ripped it all out and I cast on with this color. So on the inside is that color. You can't even see it. So I used that whole first 1 bobbin, not even all of it. Most of it though, I still have a little bit left on the bobbin. I did that and then I started a second color so that I can have the whole brim be that first color. Then I'm going into the second color. So this is like a light blue and brown. This is like 2 different blues, I would say. Gray and blue maybe. And then this last one, which you can see right here, is more like a grayish blue and white. And that'll be on top. So let me go through the colorway names because they do sell these in whole skeins. The bottom one is the Bunk. This bluish one is, oh, that was Lady Day. It is Lady Day. And then this grayish one on the inside that'll be on top of my hat is the Gateway. It's all on the North Ave base. So I like this because it's not super soft. So it's definitely a scratchier wool, which I can't do scratchy wool at all. I'm pretty sensitive. I'm getting a little better, but I'm pretty sensitive. What I like about this, but what my problem is that I like the look of scratchy wool, like when it's knitted up. I love how it looks. I just can't handle it on my skin. So this is scratchier like on the bobbin, but while you're knitting it up, it actually softens quite a bit and I haven't even blocked it yet. So I'm assuming it's gonna soften up because they had a booth at Indian Tangled and I got to feel their finished objects and I was like, wow, it's actually really soft. That's the whole reason I bought this kit. And I actually bought a skein of this Gateway color and then a skein of like, it looks like this, but with lavender with it, with the white. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that yet, but that's really cool. So I want to make this hat because I've just been dreaming. I really wanted to play with this Plied yarn. And I'm like, I have a kit and a hat already picked out. So I just need to do it. So I'm doing it. So yeah, really nice and simple. But like, if you're going to do this kit or this hat, just be aware that if you want it to look like this, the whole brim to be the one color, you're going to need something from the inside. And there's only 2 sizes. I did do the larger size, but it wasn't that much larger than the second or the first size. So I don't know. But yeah, anyways. Definitely do that. Or if you don't care, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's a 2022 WIP. The next one is for my dear friend. This is in a Scrappy Angel to retreat bag. I'm doing the perfect this is crochet. I'm doing the Perfect Pocket Shawl by Sonia Hood. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I'm using the recommended yarn too, which is the Lion Brand Heartland yarn. Super soft. I don't think I've ever worked with the Heartland, and it is really soft. I'm knitting it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want a blanket. And it's in the Mount Rainier colorway, so it's like their light gray colorway. But it is essentially a giant crochet rectangle scarf that I'm actually right to the point. Where am I? Which side am I on? This side. This is the side I'm working on. I'm at the point where I need to add in the border. See, I have the border down there. I need to add in the border up here. I'm done. Like, I'm pretty much done with this rectangle. And then what you do is you add pockets, giant pockets facing this way, right? Facing this way on each side. And then you add fringe on the end. And then what you do, got fuzzies all over me, is that you wrap it around like a scarf, like a shawl actually. And then you have it like this, and then you use the pockets. So it's like a pocket shawl, perfect pockets. It's really actually quite ingenious. And then Sonia Hood, actually, I was looking at her patterns, and she's actually got another great pattern that I want to do for myself. It's like this big giant rectangle down the back. And then it comes up and then it separates into 2 rectangles down the front. So like drapes over. Oh my gosh. So simple, but like amazing. And so this is crochet. I made this for my friend. She really wanted me to make it for her. So I am. This is for you, Beth. So almost done. And I actually got 2 more colors. When I ordered it, like Lion Brand was having a sale. So I ordered, it takes 4 skeins, supposedly for this project. And I wasn't sure what color Beth would want. So I got this light gray, and then I got a dark charcoal gray, and also like a natural color, which I'm kind of excited about the natural color. So I may make one for myself, or maybe I'll make that other one. I think you probably need more yarn for the other one though. But yeah, so I have that in here, and I'm using I went down quite a few hook sizes. So if you guys are wanting to make this, and a lot of people said that in their projects, I went down to a K hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter. And just whatever I had in my stash, because I think it says to like use a 13 millimeter or something. And she even says in there to cage, because she's got a tighter crochet. I'm like, I guess me and most people had to go down to a K 6.5. So just be aware of that. Cause I gauge swatched like 3 times before I read someone else's. And then I gauge swatched at the 6.5. I'm like, perfect, done. So yeah, so there's that. And I think my last one, right? Yes, my last one I just cast on last night. Now I am doing like a yearly, monthly dishclothing, but I'll get that out in a minute. But I finally cast on my litmus cowl. So this is my last advent that I had. I had like 3 advents last year, and Anna from Zebra Yarns and I did like an advent swap. It was hosted by Between Knits and Pearls, and it was called the 24 Days of Cheer swap. And you're supposed to be use your stash for some of it. And it's a really great way to like be paired with somebody and connect and have that. So Anna and I actually got paired together. That's how we initially really met. So she had sent me, my advent from her was her stash, but it was her dyed stash, like her stash from when she does dyeing. So an amazing advent from Zebra Yarns. And so I really wanted to do, I'd already picked this out, the Litmus Cowl by Stranded Dye Works. But the version that Castleview Yarns did. So Jude from Stranded Dye Works, he does this, it's like stripes and then like a thick stripe of a 5-gram mini, a main color stripe. You know, a thick stripe of a 5-gram mini, and then a thick stripe of the main color. So like it alternates that way. So it's great for using 5-gram minis. But the Castleview Yarns added a little bit extra of a section at the very end, like because it's a cowl, so it connects, where you repeat the cycle, but like 2 row, like a thin stripe of each color in between thin rows of main color. Go check it out. I decided that extra little detail section. So I'm going to do it that way. And so my main color just arrived. So I couldn't decide. I had a hard time trying to figure out what yarn I wanted. And I realized, because Anna gave me an array of beautiful colors, that I wanted a yak colorway, like this grayish, you know, the yak color. So it's like a gray, there we go. Like a grayish taupe is really what yak is. And I want it to be natural. And I was having a hard time finding it. And then I found someone on Etsy who was great to work with. If you guys want to check it out, Tuja Designs. I noticed she had 1 in stock. I thought she had 2, but she only had 1. And then she's like, I can't get it from I just messaged her on Etsy, and she messaged me right back. She was so sweet. And I was like, okay, it's all right. You know, no big deal. And she's like, oh, I think I can get a half skein or whatever. So then she was like, oh my gosh, I just looked. I ordered a whole bunch of full skeins. And so then she opened up a pre-order for me. So I pre-ordered the skeins I needed, and I actually got 3, even though I think I only need maybe 2. but I was like panicking at that point. I'm like, I'll get 3. I mean, I'll always use it. So it's very affordable because it was undyed. And yeah, she like, as soon as she got it, she shipped it to me and I just got it in the mail. So it was amazing coming from Colorado. So it's US, Tuja Designs. I don't think I could see her, I'll find her on Instagram, but she's on Etsy as Tuja Designs. So definitely check her out. But this is beautiful yak colorway. So I just cast on last night. So I have my very first mini. This was day 1. And then I got to the yak color. And then I've got day 2, which is slightly lighter. And I kind of went in order, but I kind of mixed them up a little bit. This is day 3. 4 and 5. I got all those wound up, ready to go. And then I'm gonna cycle back through. And I will have leftovers because these are larger than 5 gram skeins, so 10 or more, sometimes 7, whatever. So I only need 5 grams for each stripe. So then what I'm gonna do with the leftover bits is I'm gonna make bunting for like the backdrop of like our podcast or in my craft room. And I chose Bunting Fit for a Queen by Vero Pepperell. And it uses about 5 or 6 grams per triangle. So if I have like a little less of one, maybe I'll combine it with like a different mini from this advent. I think it'd be really great too to have a cowl from this advent and also like something in the, like on my wall to remind me of this great advent from Anna. So that's my plans for that. I was so excited I got to start this. This is my last advent. I knit all the others. I'm actually quite shocked, or I'm in the process of knitting the blanket, but isn't it great? I love this. It looks so good. Okay, and then I have this in my Daisy Girl and Company bag. I got specifically for this project for Christmas. Oh, and I have one of Anna's zebra progress keepers on there. That's gonna mark it. I was gonna use that to mark it from our podcast so I could tell you guys where we were. Sorry, man. I'm like losing my voice. I've been talking too much, you guys. Okay, so I think that's it for my WIPs. That should have been 25. And honestly, WIPs don't stress me out. So we can get into like my upcoming plans. What does stress me out, WIPs don't stress me out. I knit what I want when I want anyways, usually, unless I have deadlines, but I'm maybe more embodying that this year. And probably even have more WIPs, who knows? But what does stress me out is my stash. It's just the sheer amount of money I have tied up in my stash and I keep buying other stuff. And I would go through like, oh, I'm gonna do giveaways, or I'm gonna do de-stash, or I'm gonna do something. And I would look through everything and I'm like, I still love every one of these skeins. I don't even want to get rid of them. So I'm like, I just need to work from them. So I want to be more mindful and purposeful of working from my stash this year. Number 1, doesn't mean I'm not going to still buy because I've already bought in quite a bit, but now I'm buying with a purpose because I have a lot of skeins in there that I bought because they were beautiful. And I have tons of beautiful yarn. I don't need to buy something because it's beautiful. I would buy with a purpose. Now I'm buying 4 projects. So 4 sweaters, for something I need a large quantity for. And I'm also like, my goal is to have more stash go out than I bring in this year, if that makes any sense. I don't have any number to it, no percentage, no quantity, just I would like to use more of my stash that I put in it. It's really what it is. And I know this now because I'm making a spreadsheet. So I'm tracking my WIPs. That's just more for fun, just so I can keep track of what I have. And also, instead of having to go dig through all my bags, I have it all in a spreadsheet in my stash. Also, a good reason to do this is because then I don't have to rebuy. Like literally one time last year, I brought home a skein of this beautiful green Dream in Color yarn. And then I found I had the same exact yarn and base of the same color green in my stash already, and I have no recollection of ever purchasing that. So that's a problem. I have it on my my spreadsheet that syncs with my phone, so when I'm purchasing yarn, I can double check to make sure I don't already have it. I mean, it works out because now I have 2 greens, so I have more project opportunities opening up for that. But I mean, come on, guys. That's just so. And I haven't done a spreadsheet before because I didn't want to know the exact quantity of yarn. Now I'm gonna know, and I've only got the top 2 rows. Like I've got that row, and the one above it is done in my spreadsheet, and I haven't done these 3 yet. And that's not even all my yarn. I have other yarn. But I'm like moving into a craft room in my basement. So this is a great opportunity for me to go through everything before I start reorganizing downstairs. And I'm also I'm not doing the yearly Desert Vista Dye Works sock knit along this year. I'm taking a break. I'll probably do it next year. But instead, I'm doing the dishcloth one by the Kitchen Sink Shop. And she does, like, she had this last year. It was like the year of dishcloth, 2021 year of dishcloths or something like that. Did I write that down? Yeah, 2021 year of dishcloths was last year. So, and then she offers this for free. So I'm doing the 2022 year of dishcloths. So what you do is, all you have to do is go to her website, sign up for her newsletter, and then every month at the very first of the month, she emails you the pattern. And then she eventually puts it on Ravelry later that month, and you can like go connect it to your pattern or whatever. And it's all free. And then next year, I think, because like now you have to pay for last year's patterns, but like it's all free this year. So like, what a great way to do this. So this was January's, and it's Meg's dress. And it's all based off of novels that she loves, I believe, this year. So this is Meg's dress. And then, so she just released February's pattern like a couple days ago, and I have not started yet. It literally takes me like, you know, a couple days, if that, to like do this. And I had purchased from this Canadian yarn shop, because I can't get this in the States. I looked anyways. This whole kit for the whole year, and it's Estelle, sorry, you're gonna hear crinkling, Estelle Suds yarn. And I got the spray, this is the spray kit, guys. So I picked the blue one, because Meg's dress was blue. And then for February, I'm gonna do one of the pink ones. I think I'm gonna do the bright pink one. I'll probably do this one, this pink one for February. And so I just need to start that one. So that'll be a new WIP. But like these WIPs take me like a day or two, and then they're off the needles. So, and I have this, and I have not used it. I love this yarn so far. It's great. And I like the size of her patterns. Like, look how big that is. And honestly, so this is gonna be like, I was like, oh, I need new dishcloths for my kitchen. And then, but it's just too pretty. Isn't that just too pretty? It's too pretty for my dishes and my dirty counters. So I'm like, maybe I'll just use it as a washcloth, like in my bathroom. But then am I gonna need 12 of these? Maybe, I think I do. Like a face washcloth in the bathroom. So maybe. I haven't done anything with it yet. So I'm like, I think I'll just, I mean, I need washcloths, but I'll just make regular squares for the kitchen. And then these pretty ones can be in my bathroom. That's what I'll do. But yeah, so I need to cast on this one. So it's one, and it uses almost a full 50 gram skein for these dishcloths. And yeah, so I have one for each month. Really excited about that. And I ordered that from Granny Bird's wool shop in Ontario, Canada, and it was super fast shipping. It was amazing, and it was not even that expensive to ship it. So go check that out if you were interested. And there was like a solid tonal one and like more of a variegated also kit. I got the spray kit. It's like more speckly. So that's what I'm doing for my yearly. Now I did want to talk about some upcoming projects I have. I added a whole bunch. Now, I know I said working from stash was a big one, and yet I went and bought a whole bunch of sweaters, basically quantities of yarn. But they're sweaters I already wanted to make, and I got good deals on the yarn usually. And some of these are also, I already have yarn for that I've already purchased last year that I also want to make. Now, I may not make all of these during this year, maybe next year, who knows? But it's just giving everybody ideas of like, you know, patterns and yarn and stuff. So the first one is the Billy pullover, and I just bought this yarn. So the Billy pullover by Sari Nordland. I was with my friend Amanda. We went to Looped in DC, and I found, first of all, this Malabrigo Rios yarn. Like, it looks amazing. Their colorways, I hadn't seen them like lately, I guess. So Malabrigo is very affordable too, as a matter of fact. I got this beautiful like brown color. Yeah, there we go. It's more like this, more of like a coffee brown. Looks a little bit more, I don't know, more coffee color. You can't really tell, but it's beautiful. And what's the colorway? Sandbank 131. So I got all of this for the Billy pullover, which I don't know if you've seen that by Sari Nordland. I'll put a picture here, but it's like all these cables. It looks beautiful. I'm so excited. It's gonna be in this color, and it's gonna look amazing. Okay, and then also on that same trip, I bought yarn for the Goldwing by Jennifer Steingass. Now this one was on clearance, 30% off. I was like, what? It was begging for me. And I've never been able to see this yarn before. It's a Big Little Yarn Co. You know, hand-dyed in Japan, for crying out loud. I was so excited. So I got, this is going to be the main colorway. So the bottom part. And this is, I think, peanut butter and jelly, right? Yeah, peanut butter and jelly. Right back here. There's a couple different, you know how they're hand-dyed. Okay, that's the main color down here. And then the top part that starts out with the color before it fades in is this color. And it is Bramble, I believe. All saying, yeah, Bramble. That's a very accurate color right there. It looks, you can't tell, I'm like, is it dark red? Is it brown? You can't, like, it's amazing. And it would look really good with these two together. So it's gonna be Light Wing by Jennifer Steingass. I'm really excited about it. It was 30% off. I mean, how could I not? And it has sweaters quantity back there. I mean, come on. How can I say no, right? And I've been looking, like I had that, I really wanted to do that pattern, so it made sense. Okay, next up is, I want to talk about the ones I've just recently purchased, then I can talk about what I have already in my stash. I just bought last week, also on clearance, from a yarn shop. I went down to Roanoke. Brooke had a camp there for lacrosse, and so we hit all the yarn stores, of course. And they had this huge clearance blowout, and they had a sweaters quantity of all different colors, but I chose this one, the Queensland Collection Dungarees. So it's just yarn recycled from jeans, from denim. So it's cotton. It's a great olive color. I think you can kind of see that. It's a great olive green. I love olive green. And they had us like sweaters quantity of like a bunch of different colors. So I wanted to make the Love Note tank by Raging Perlin, which is Rebecca McKenzie. Now that's using Aran weight. This is DK weight. So I got enough to hold it double. So I got 6 skeins, and actually there's 7 there, and I pulled all my 6 off and there was 1 left. I'm like, I can't leave you behind. So I got all 7. Cotton you can use for anything, right? So I got this to hold double, and I hope it will make gauge. I'll make it make gauge. It's a tank top. It's gonna be great. And the clearance was insane. I think it's normally was like $17. Yeah, and I got it for $4 each. So I spent $29 on 7 skeins. And it was amazing. I'm so excited about this. This is gonna be a great Love Note tank. Okay. And that, I've had that pattern forever, and I just haven't found like the best yarn for it. So I'm really excited. It's gonna be so pretty. And then I just recently purchased at my local yarn store. My husband took me there and was like, buy stuff. So I'm like, okay. I really want to make, I know, half and half triangle wrap. I know I'm like late to the game on this. I mean, people are still making it. But it's a free pattern by Pearl Soho using their linen quill base. And I heard the linen quill might be scratchy. I've not been able to feel it. And I would hate to spend the money and order it and then it'd be scratchy. And you know, this is a sensitive place, so I definitely don't want my shawl to be scratchy. So I did like the Yarn Sub website, and one of the ones that came up high on the list was the Isager Alpaca 2. The Isager, oh, it's gonna look, sorry guys, the lighting. Isager Alpaca 2. And then my local yarn store just happened, I think it's one of their newer brands, maybe it's not, maybe I'm just now seeing it, but they had the exact same one. I'm like, oh my gosh. They didn't have a huge selection, but luckily I found 2 that I loved. So I got this and this for my half and half triangle wrap. This is like a natural color. It looked gray in the store. And I'm happier with this natural color. It's like a very taupey natural with like a gray undertone maybe. And the colorway is 2S. If you guys are looking up, 2S. Like S is in Sam, 2S. And then this purple, oh my gosh. So pretty. And this is color number 52. So those together. A half and half triangle wrap. I love it. I'm so excited about this. It's gonna be a great universal. Because I have a lot of bright colored, like I love color. And I have a lot of bright colored shawls and wraps and scarves. But I gravitate more towards the like neutrals. Like I have a navy one that I love. Because it goes with all my clothes. So it's just easier. It goes with my jackets. Isn't that pretty? So I got 5 of each of these skeins because there's only 50 gram skeins. I got 5 of each. And also affordable. Not too bad. And then I got the same brand but different base because I really wanted to make the heritage shawl or heritage sweater by Liv Olven. I think it's Liv. But it's Woodland Knits. And I'm going to put a picture here so you guys can see it. Because I got a Isiger Alpaca 3 is the base. And this is going to be my main color. This like naturally taupey color. And that's color number 2S, which is the same color as this, right? It is. Huh, I love this color apparently. And then my 2 contrasting colors are, grab them out of here. These 2, not contrast. My 2 contrasting colors. So as you can see, I'll show a close-up picture too. It does stripe in that design, the like diamond design. So it kind of fades in and out. And you don't have to do that, but I like that idea. So I'm using these colors as my 2 striping. This lighter colorway is, it's like a grayish blue, and this is colorway 42. And this one is a more like deep ocean blue, and it's 18. So like this is the main color, and this is my 2 contrasting colors. It's gonna be so pretty. So I got those. So those ones I'm really excited about, and those would be nice and warm for the winter. Now, the half and half triangle wrap I know is a slog and it takes forever, and I'm totally, obviously you see I don't hate WIPs, so it'll be fine with me. I don't hate doing things that take a long time. I just, you know, and if I want something done, I can get it done. Like for Rhinebeck, I think I finished 3 or 4 sweaters in like a month and a half, 2 months, which is insane. I mean, let's be real. For me, I have a Sunset Highway from 2020, so we all know. But, you know, it's whatever I make a priority, whatever I want to have done. Now, I also have yarn already that I had purchased for 2 Sorry Nordland tees. The first one is the Cocoa tee. And I had purchased this yarn last summer on our beach trip. Life in the Long Grass, which I've always wanted to try Life in the Long Grass yarn. And this is a delicious silk merino base. It is 50% silk, 50% superwash merino. And look at that colorway. And it's cockle shell, right? Yeah, cockle shell. I even thought that like the name was like really great. I got 3 of them for the, because 3 for me would be a T for Sorry Nordland. So that's a great, you know. But cockle shell, I thought was a good like ode to our beach trip, you know. So that's gonna be a great tee. And it's like a simple, like there's no design, like no design work on it. It's a great, I like the tee shape anyways. And then another tee I got was the Varma by Sorry Nordland. And I bought this at Rhinebeck. It's also a great base. So this beautiful tonal purple. And it's so soft. It is. So it's by Chickadee Colors. Actually, it's Cardigan Farm. And it's their Chickadee line or colors or whatever. And it's the Treasure Collection. It's 50% silk, 50% superwash merino. So similar, but so soft. And I got 3 of those as well. And I got this just for the Varma. Like I purposely purchased this for the Varma. And it's the Nautilus colorway is the colorway. I love this. So these are my 2 tees. They're both lavender, but this one has more colors to it. So yeah, a little different. So those ones I'm definitely gonna knit up. Probably closer to summer because they're tees. And then I'm pulling, so those are kind of stash, right? I mean, I bought them last year for these patterns, so. But this one's pulling from deep stash. I got this in 2019, this Shirsty Cat. I got it at, I believe, Shenandoah Fiber Festival, I believe, in 2019. And I got a sweaters quantity. It's my first indie dyed sweaters quantity. So I've been like hoarding it, like waiting for the most perfect pattern that I would want to use for like one color, no color work. I didn't want to break up the skeins. I have 5 skeins ready to go. And it's, oh, it's in the Great Lakes colorway. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. I just love this blue and the tonalness of it. And it's on her Just Sock base, 75-25. So soft. But I decided I want to make the Medvind. So it's the Medvind by Elsabeth Judith. It's got a really cool swan neck collar, and then it's half fisherman's rib for the rest of it. Like, so cozy looking. And I have the right amount of yarn, and it's gonna look so pretty in this. I'm really excited about that. And I'm pulling from stash. That's like a deep stash from 2019. I'm so excited to use this and for that sweater. And then my last plan is actually, I don't have the yarn yet because I just ordered it last night. It's the SweetPea cardigan by Andrea Mowry. I've been obsessed with that cardigan. Really, I had it in my queue, and then I saw the Valentine's mini set from Hue Loco. I don't know if you guys saw that. She got this really cool Valentine's mini set. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying with a purpose. I really want to buy this mini set. What would I make with it? Not another advent type project. I got tons of those. I got tons of minis and scraps. What am I going to make? So I was looking through, I'm like, oh yeah, the SweetPea cardigan. It's a fisherman's rib too. And with like a main color, I'm like, okay, what would my main color be? So then I looked on Hue Loco because I'm like, I really want it to kind of all match. And they have the perfect Earl Grey colorway, which is kind of similar to, I think, by looking at the pictures online, it looks similar to like a yak base colorway. So pretty. So I actually, splurged last night. They should have like a flash sale. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. So I ordered the mini set and the right amount of main color, and that's what I'm making. I'm not gonna use all of the minis, but most of them. And with that main color of that like the Earl Grey colorway, it's gonna be so cool. I'm so excited for that. That's the SweetPea cardigan. It's gonna be so pretty. I'm gonna knit that. My friend Amanda already has yarn for it, and she's like, let's knit that together. I'm like, yes. So that'll be fun. So that might be cast on like sooner rather than later when I get the yarn. But yeah, I think that's it for all of my plans. Really, I say knitting from stash, but then I keep buying stuff. But I'm buying with a purpose. I'm knitting from stash, buying for a purpose, usually sweater quantities. So I have a lot of 1s and 2s of beautiful yarn, which is great for color work, but then I need like more for like the rest of the sweater or different weights. And I have a lot of fingering and not a lot of any other weights of yarn. So that's really, and it's just knitting what I want, when I want. And my end goal is as long as I have less yarn last year than what I started with, and as long as I have less yarn next year than what I started with, I'll find that as a win. But even then, so I hope you guys loved my WIP roundups episode and also future plans. Stay tuned for our next podcast where Brooke will be on and she gets to show her foes. And I'll see you next time. Bye.